Hi, welcome to Team 2-3. We are a team of 3 teachers that share the teaching of about 60 second and third graders. Hi guys, I'm Mrs. Fry. I live on a farm here in Wiscasset with my husband and my 2 kids.
Hi!
Willow and Oliver. One thing we have on our farm is lots and lots of chickens, which we keep buying more of because they lay different color eggs and I want to have all the colors. Here are some of the colors we have so far. One thing I really love is gardening, and here is my garden.
Hi, I'm Ms. Caswell and I live in Bodenham with my dog Sally and my husband and my cat. You might even see me working in my garden this summer if you drive past my house on River Road. One of the things that my husband and I are sort of obsessed with is apples. We've even planted a little mini apple orchard in our yard. We have 20 different kinds of apple trees, and this is one of my favorites. It's an apple called Ashmead's Kernel, and it's super tart and spicy tasting. And I'm really excited this summer because it has some baby apples. One thing I really love to do is go hiking with my dog, and I do it just about every single day. Sometimes we hike big mountains, but a lot of times we just go on local trails like this one.
Hello, I'm Ms. Mckeon, but by the time you meet me, I'll be Mrs. Friedman. I'm getting married this summer, and one thing you get to decide to do when you get married is change your name, and I decided to. So, I'm Mrs. Friedman. I live in Phippsburg with my fiance Paul and my dog Mckeon. This is my dog Mckeon. You'll see him featured in many writing pieces next year. What I've been up to this summer is moving. Maybe some of you have moved before, but you know the feeling of moving box after box and unpacking it. But one of the most fun parts of moving is discovering new plants, like this big bushy vine that I had no idea what it was until Ms. Caswell and I did some Googling. We also were left some bird feeders, and I've been able to see some birds because I moved from a city. So we've seen some birds and a few very fat chipmunks eating our new sunflowers.
This is the Team 2-3 pod area. We gather out here sometimes for team meetings, and then a lot of times we just squeeze into each other's classrooms. This is the boys' bathroom. And then if you turn the corner like you're heading to first grade, that's the girls' bathroom. As you enter the pod, the first classroom on your right is Ms. Caswell's classroom. That's my classroom. It's the yellow classroom. And it has all the normal classroom things. It's just a bit of a mess right now because all the normal classroom things are piled into the middle of the room because it's being cleaned. It's got a chalkboard and a whiteboard. Those are the drawers where we keep our books for reading workshop. And I'm very proud of my bookshelves. Look how big they are, and look how many books I can keep on them. My windows look out the front of the school, and then that's the sink and the cubby area. Oh, and that, you don't find that in every classroom, do you? That's Eddie. He's a hippo head. I'll tell you his story right at some point, but right now all you need to know is that he is super friendly and he loves to tell jokes. As you leave my classroom, you come to Ms. Mckeon's classroom. We're gonna have to change that sign to say Mrs. Friedman, aren't we? Mrs. Friedman's classroom is green, and all her stuff is piled in the middle too, except she also gets all the science materials piled into her room. Lucky her. In the front of the room, she has her teacher area, her chalkboard and her whiteboard. This is usually where she has her meetings and her mini lessons. Those are her books. And then around the back, underneath the windows that look into the front driveway, there's usually a long shelf, and on that shelf is a salmon tank, a tank where we raise baby salmon. Leaving Ms. Mckeon's classroom, heading to the right, this is Mrs. Fry's classroom. Mrs. Fry's classroom is aqua, and she doesn't usually have these bookshelves right here. These bookshelves usually live in the hallway because these are books that we all share. Look, they're books you're going to read this year. Isn't that exciting? This is Mrs. Fry's meeting area with her whiteboard and her bookshelf. Then the sink, and she's got those nice big wide cubbies. Her windows look right out onto the blacktop in the playground. And then over here, this is where she keeps her books and her art supplies. And then the front of the room, that's where her chalkboard is. Although right now, it's sort of hidden behind the chairs and the ball seats and the beanbag and the wobble seat and all the tables. I know you might be a little bit worried about the state of these classrooms, but never fear. We will have them ready for you by the time school starts again in the fall. This is our school garden. You might be wondering, why is our school garden in a video about Team 2-3? Well, the reason is that a couple years ago, we asked Mr. Lajoie if our team could be kind of in charge of the garden, and he said yes. So this is one of our learning spaces. We like to come out here and plant and weed, watch things grow, and learn about ecosystems and nature and how everything works together. It doesn't look like a whole lot now. There are a few things coming up here and there, but it should be filled with life by the time you return to school.
And now for a teacher hot seat. Frequently asked questions about Team 2-3. Questions presented by an incoming third grader, Willow Fry. Answered by your teachers.
What is a home base?
Wow. A home base is the classroom where you start and you end your day. You might stay in that classroom and with that teacher for reading, writing, or math, but you also might switch to a different classroom and to a different teacher for those subjects.
Isn't it confusing having so many teachers?
Well, when we first started teaching Team 2-3, we thought that kids would be confused having 3 teachers. But you'll find that after just a few short weeks, you get to know all of us really well and will enjoy spending time in each of our classrooms.
Will we have recess?
Yes, you will definitely have recess. Just like in first grade, in the middle of the day, you will go out to recess and then you'll get to go into lunch. That will be in the middle of your day, every day of the week.
Do we really sit on balls?
Well, yes. They're called ball chairs or ball seats, and they have certain rules that you have to follow in order to sit on them safely, but they're pretty fun to do tiny bounces and tiny wiggles on. We also have wobble seats and a really tricky seat called a T-stool. Of course, if none of those work for you, there are always regular chairs you can choose from as well.
What do you love about Team 2-3?
I love that we're a team. Even though you might not be best friends with all of your classmates, we're all still kind to each other. We work together. We help each other out. We're in it together.
We tackle some pretty tricky things, really tricky things, things that are a little tricky, and I love how everyone takes on those challenges and learns every single day. It's really inspiring, and I'm always very proud.
I love that we don't just get to spend 1 year with you, but we get to spend 2 years with you. And by the end of those 2 years, it really does start to feel like we are all part of one big family.